This, of course, in the Supreme Court had also taken up this matter. Sudha Ramalingam, if you can come in, what would you say about this? Uma raised some important points. The policeman coming from Prakasam district to Secunderabad to arrest her on a Sunday afternoon when there's no chance of getting immediate bail. She's got bail today but has to spend another night in jail because of formalities. What would you term this arrest?
I will call it as atrocious simply, and also it shows how the police state has become so narrow-minded, oppressive, and also cannot take criticism at all. People in public life will have to be ready to face public criticism too, whether what she said was right or wrong, but to arrest this woman is definitely wrong, and it is beyond also what the Supreme Court says. Supreme Court guidelines very clearly state bail and not jail should be the rule. And what was the necessity and the urgency to arrest a woman who is an advocate and a very responsible person, who is also a president of a very national organization, People's Union for Civil Liberties. She is not going to run away, and she is a practicing advocate. She has already also filed a writ petition telling the court that she apprehends such a repressive act against her by the state, and the court has already ordered notice to the state. So where was the question of arresting her at all?
I think in fact, Mr. Khan, I'll come back to you. I want Kabir Bedi's view on that. I think the point Sudhaji raised very importantly, the act by the state. It's seen here that attacking this MLA, let me say again that it may be true, it may not be true, it may even be objectionable, it may be defamatory. But why don't simple laws of defamation apply to this? It's not against communal harmony, it's not against the state. Why is it that the power of the state has come down? And that's the larger message which we should worry about. Go ahead, Mr. Bedi.
Sonia, as far as I'm concerned, every single time there's a law that's vaguely worded or capable of misuse, it will be misused by people as well as the police and by anyone wanting to seek any kind of revenge, vendetta, etc. Now, the problem here is that Section 66A has lumped together a number of things. Now, some of those things should be criminalized, some really should not. Under 66A, if I send anything that you consider offensive, I could go to jail for up to 3 years. Forget offensive. Anything that causes annoyance, inconvenience, anything I deem insulting. So, you know, freedoms aren't absolute. I mean, people even in the real world do not have the freedom to shout fire in a crowded film theater. So there are some restrictions on that, but that restriction has to do with larger public safety, larger public good, and a larger public interest. This particular definition lumps together everything from threats and criminal intimidation, which should be taken care of, to anything that I find annoying or insulting, etc. The result is I can be imprisoned for calling somebody an idiot in the same way as if I threatened to kill them. And this kind of law and misapplication of law is wide open if the law is worded so vaguely that it can be applied against anyone in any situation, depending on how the receiver of this mail perceives it. So my basic point is the laws on the internet that we formulate should be the same as the laws on the ground. No. Why don't people sue for libel rather than using 66A to imprison an advocate over a weekend? I mean, it's really a great example of the misuse that can happen with law when the law itself is worded so badly that it opens itself to such abuse.
In fact, ironically, Mr. Abid Rasul Khan, if you can come in here, you're from Andhra Pradesh as well. We know that the centre had said that there's no need to actually amend this law. They say they would put in safeguards into place. It would have to be an arrest by a DCP would have to clear it or an IG clear it. What's happened in this case? She may have said something offensive again against this MLA, but surely it was not something which justified this kind of arrest.
Basically, the information I have on this particular issue, which I could gather, Sonia, is that there was something written about the governor of Tamil Nadu, His Excellency Rosia ji, and this particular MLA, and there is a sort of difference of opinion between these two people going on for months together, which culminated in his filing a complaint when it became very personal.